Hi, it's Joey Reynolds. What a change in California with the snow hitting California. Snow used to be in people's noses. What a Hollywood difference, huh? Boy, I'm glad I left there. We didn't have a problem with distribution of vaccines with heroin, which is a vaccination item, could be. We didn't have a problem with that when we used drug dealers, but we did when the feds got involved. Well, yeah, then they killed off the supply. But that's the way it is. Now the feds are distributing vaccine. It's the reverse of what we all learned how to do. No, I think it's a very serious thing. Everybody should get a vaccination. Hey, listen, my dog got it. Why not you? The dog is going to get it before you will get it. They give vaccines to put people to sleep, in Florida. And now we're going to try to keep them alive. I'm one of those guys. I'm in that high risk group because of age. What does that have to do with anything? What does my age have to do with keeping me alive? If I'm alive this long, it must mean that I am already good. If I'm young, I need to have the vaccine so that I can make it to where I am right now. You're not going to get to where I am if you don't have the vaccine. That's the difference, see. And then they're giving it to people of color first because they want to reward people of color. I mean, what does that have to do with anything? Just give everybody a needle in the arm. That's all there is to it, and a needle in the ass of these senators. Everybody is crazy. This is all. This is the Senate and the Republicans and the Democrats. The government's gone wild. It's like Girls Gone Wild used to be the porno tapes, but now it's the government gone wild. They're crazy. You sit there every day and you wonder, what the hell are they thinking? Or why aren't they thinking is more like it. They're so busy getting reelected and fitting into making a position of politics rather than giving the country what it really needs. But listen, you know what this country needs. It needs a good 50 megaton douche. And that's why yesterday the President of the United States, Biden, the new one, talked to Trump. I mean, no, he didn't talk to Trump. He should, but he talked to Putin, and the premier of Red Russia, which thinks it's still a blue state. But Russia is an amazing place. They traded a couple of countries, while he was on the phone yesterday. A couple of oil wells, 2 missiles, 3 airplane deals, a couple of politicians. Listen, kill your competition and then I'll give you one of ours, This is the exchange that people make on that level. Don't you wish you were able to do that? If you didn't like someone, you just say, get rid of them. Can you imagine how many people would be employed because the boss would be unemployed? We would get rid of somebody in charge, because people, when they get in charge, sometimes are just, they turn on you like an ugly dog, I love that expression, he threw me under the bus. Yeah, well, what bus? There ain't no buses. We don't have any. I think somewhere we have these expressions that come out of fairy tales. And Disney's opened again, incidentally. You make sure that they're promoting that because they own ABC television, and they're on there every half hour promoting the park again because they have to make some money somewhere. They have the cruise ships and the park, and they got so many things. The Super Bowl is not what it was this year. The Clydesdale horses have been replaced by a couple of dwarf ponies. There's not going to be any more of this big show off for Budweiser. They're going to go to social networking where they're going to have Bud very light. It's going to be very, very light. And the thing that's going to happen with a lot of these advertisers they're dropping out. It costs $500 million to run an ad on the Super Bowl. And all you're going to do is see Buccaneers run with the ball. I mean, and a halftime with a couple of people who really can't sing the national anthem. But let's not go there. You're going to be in trouble with that one. So the other thing is the Hall of Fame, Baseball Hall of Fame. There's nobody playing baseball, so there's nobody going into the Hall of Fame. Do you have to be dead to go into the Hall of Fame? I got in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I'm still alive. They weren't counting on my living this long, I guess. Some of the remnants are there. They put me in there was a sound area where you could listen to one of my shows, and I'm good friends with Les Paul, who also passed, and Les had died, and they needed more room for his guitar collection, so they dismantled the one where you could hear me. This is before Les died. And Les said to me, I'm giving all my guitars to the Hall of Fame, and they're going to take your display down. And I said, so you're going to knock me off for, with a gang twang. Going to take all of these things and put them up, and I'm going to be sitting there with a bullhorn in the park. I'm not. He said, yeah. Did I get something stuck in my teeth? Yeah, well, I can't afford to have dentistry anymore. Our union has dropped the secondary. AFTRA and SAG is not making enough money from actors not working, so they dropped the medical fund, and now they farmed us out. I have a plan. I have a medical plan, which you can, on the medical plan that you pay very little for. You have to take one of their doctors. I got Kevorkian and Dr. Oz, who doesn't want to work anymore. He's too busy being a celebrity. But this is like going to trial and having Judge Judy. But that you don't want. She is still a bitch. Oh man, but it's fun. It's fun to be me, because I'm watching the world go by. Stop the world. I want to get off has always been my theme, and I'm watching the various things that are happening that are absurd, and acknowledging them, and not trying to be political, because everybody's doing that now. There's no more comics on television. Nobody on radio is having fun. They're not. The morning shows are kind of, but they rag on everything. They sit there and they make fun of all the politics, and they're not really getting into the lifestyle of the American people, the greatness of the humor of the average American, who is so pissed off that he's going to really murder someone and imitate those television shows on crime that they watch. It's an amazing imitation of life, isn't it? That's it. I'm so tired of people not doing what I want them to do, that I am going to have to go to another planet. And I have the planet of the future, and I'm going to go to it right now. Incidentally, Darth Vader is running the planet. He's already got a mask, so he can come here. But I'm going to go to another place. I want to go to a place where there is some sobriety. Well, maybe I don't want that. I want a place where they have the Cantina bar. That's where I want them to go. Get nice and loaded. I bet they don't give a shit about vaccine. It's a Reynolds Wrap.